Lose the Faith, a conversation between a young man, Jesus, and God. The sun burned intensely overhead as the young man died an unforeseen and cruel death. Suddenly, the day turned stormy as a gigantic black thundering cloud came rolling across the sky. Lit up by the flash of striking lightning, fierce winds blew in all directions, making it impossible to see or hear anything above the tempest. As his spirit departed from his torn and ragged body, the young man was allowed to witness his body wash ashore. He was given the privilege of addressing God, the Father, and his Son Jesus Christ to ask why he was allowed to suffer so many difficult situations in his life.
Father, am I dead? We are a nation at war, a nation within a nation at war, financially, physically, and spiritually. Father, is that all? How could you allow my body to lie here on the banks beside the sea of death? And as the sun beamed down and burned my tender flesh, I screamed in such pain. How could you allow this to happen? I ran through some change of time for you, only to stop for one conversation, but I knew I must keep moving on, in order to reach this bitter end. And I shed one bitter teardrop that fell from my eyes, that clear crystal ball far from my forever height, holding my forever thoughts. Lies on the ground with a falling raindrop. How could you desert me in my time of need? And suddenly, a light from heaven came upon the waters from heaven, and God spoke. You lack the principles of reality, and that's why you would drown in an ocean of fantasy, and shattered dreams haunt you every night, leaving you without a safe place to sleep. Now come closer, closer, my son, for the darkness has no light. And as Jesus raised his hands towards heaven, the young man could see the holes pierced in his hands from crucifixion. Jesus said, "Ah, Father." And he looked at the young man. "How dare you say I deserted you? It was I who was in the Garden of Eden and Gethsemane, and it was I who steered Noah's ark to safe ground. And it was I who led Moses across the desert, and I freed the Israelites. And you say I deserted you? It was I who caught your teardrops dancing in the wind. It was I who wrote all the love poems and the songs towards my Father. And you say I deserted you? See, it was I who saw freedom running across the cotton field, and it was I who placed freedom beneath Mother Earth. And as a young man begins to plead, God asked him to walk towards the light, and he was covered with white clouds, blue waters covers his soul entirely whole as he ascended towards heaven. And every so often, in the late evening, from a distance, you can see Christ walking on the beach. Suddenly, he walks through time into infinity, and you see his robe dancing, floating within the wind. Don't lose the faith. Don't you get caught. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.
We thank Brother Darren Rankins